Well, full time, Manchester United 4, Sheffield 2. United went down twice, leveled twice, and went ahead obviously take a comfortable lead of 2 goals. Welcome to the United Matters channel. How are you guys and where you watching us from? Rock and David is my name. This is what you wanted to see to it, that United gets back to winning ways, because it has been long since we last went ahead to win a game in the Premier League. And guys, do you remember the last time we went ahead to win a game in the Premier League? Was it against Everton? If at all I'm not mistaken. It has been really long since Man United last went ahead to register a win in the Premier League, because ever since we returned from the international break, we haven't gone ahead to obviously register any win as the club of Man United. If I really look back, we last won against Everton at Old Trafford 2-0. The next game was Brentford 1-1, Chelsea we lost 4-3, Man United Liverpool 2-2, Man United Bournemouth 2-2. Manchester United Sheffield. Now we get back to the winning ways, and what a way to obviously celebrate this time for the club of Man United, because all for me I wanted was a win. Whether we win how or how, I think we needed a little bit of a win to come in through, because you saw to it that this time around we had total control of the game. The game was in our hands, but what went ahead to fail us? Not killing off the chances into the first half. If you look at what the stats were here in the first half at halftime, Man United went ahead to boss everything in that game of football. And guess what? In only 45 minutes, Man United had 17 shots at goal, 7 shots on target. And out of those 7, we converted only 1, that is of Harry Maguire. But for the side of Sheffield, they had 3 shots and 2 were on target. Man United had 2 big chances. I think there was one of Rasmus Højlund, there was that of Alejandro Garnacho, right? Then the other side had only 1 big chance. So the possession, we had, what is the possession in the first half? So when you look at the passes that we completed into the first half, we had 401 passes that we completed the first half, and Sheffield had only 61 passes completed, taking our passing accuracy to 92%. That is it. We committed no fouls in the first half. Sheffield committed 5, 4 corners in the first half, and Sheffield never went ahead to obviously have any. So it shows you that we were really in for this from the word go, but the problem was we went ahead to miss out on very many chances. I think Alejandro Garnacho had the biggest chance of the half, where he was played into by who played him in and went ahead to obviously play into that box, took 2 extra touches that we really called for, but guess what? He never really went ahead to really finish with what we call a surgical precision, and the goalkeeper went ahead obviously put in a save for the club of Sheffield. So let's see close to how many likes. 300 likes in this video. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. And it's obviously that game that comes in through in a very particular time, as everything really goes on as to plan for the club of Man United. But Erina Ochan, thank you for watching it through. Idrissa Kamara, Akugiziwe Sebastian, Yasin Diovo, Mbabali Mike, Tuhimbise Titus, Alfred Kenny Nyibingira, Oyika Moses, and Joseph Sesai. Thank you for watching it through, and let's obviously get into what we call breaking down this beautiful game of football. Now, Manchester United have gone ahead to really get out of this turmoil of not really winning any beautiful game of football. But remember, how did it all start? In the 35th minute, Andre Onana gifted to the player known as Jayden Bogo, and went ahead obviously put that ball in the back of the net. He wanted to pass that ball to Dalot, but it was really a very sloppy pass, and it didn't really go into the vicinity of Dalot, and he gifted for the first goal. Then 7 minutes later, Harry Maguire went ahead obviously level through an assist coming in from Alejandro Garnacho. Guys, today Garnacho had a very good game, and you saw to it that United plays better without Marcus Rashford. For anyone who really doubts that, go ahead and really watch that game. I've always gone ahead to let you know that Man United puts in a better shift when they're not having Marcus Rashford, and that is one of the things you should obviously come in through and really note about this club of Man United, that they do better. They do better when they're not having Marcus Rashford. And you saw to it that we had 2 wings that were really active. The right side of Anthony was active, though few came in through from that side. The other side of Garnacho was really giving to full capacity. That's why we went ahead to say either we got in that cross. Now, when you look at that assist, I tell you this, if Rashford was there, he cannot do that. He cannot do that. He would try to obviously find space and obviously run towards the byline and put in a shot at goal. That is the beauty of not having Marcus Rashford in the team. You saw to it that Garnacho was really giving them hard time. Every time he got hold of that ball, you saw to it that he was running to his opponents. He made them run. His end product was good, and he went ahead to obviously get us a little bit of what we call that assist that Harry Maguire heads into the back of the net. To see to it that we go into halftime when that game is 1-1. If we go 1-0 down, it's a different narrative altogether, because Sheffield will come in through and really say, all right, we are 1-0, let's compact, make it hard for them, hit them on the break. You get? Because to show you that this team had a very better plan to obviously hit us on the break, returning in the second half, 5 minutes into the second half, they really go ahead. They really go ahead, and this is what I talked about in the match day live, that I tell you, Eriksen doesn't deserve to be in that team, because we looked so porous because of his presence, and that goal, look what he does. Look what he does. He's the man responsible for us conceding that, because if he was really an energetic and strong guy, he would have gone ahead to say it that he puts in a shift for us not to concede that goal. But the pass goes in through, looks on, square the ball into the back of the net. But I was really skeptical onto how that central defense of Man United had close to 4 players, and one single player comes in between them, all amongst them, and hits that ball. There was miscommunication. But all that goes back to the injuries that we're really having as a club of Man United, because if you're having injuries, there is no way you're gonna come up and really put in a shift that you really want as a club. There is no way that is gonna happen. All what is going to happen is simple. Your team will continue suffering. That is it. Your team will continue suffering because of the different center back pairings that Erik Ten Hag has going to hate to pair. Good enough. He has going to hate to play very well today, Casemiro alongside Harry Maguire. But I tell you, it's not that central defense that you always want, because you miss the services of Casemiro into that double pivot for the club of Man United. And he was really very strong. And I really liked his composure and those line breaking passes that Casemiro went ahead to get in through from the deep lying areas of the pitch to the forwards. And he's really a very good passer of the ball. And I just went ahead to enjoy everything that Casemiro went ahead to obviously put up into the mix at that side of Man United Old Trafford. And we are really doing the best as a club of Man United. And I tell you what, that side of Sheffield was really totally dominated. I think one of the best games that we've ever going to play this season has been this one of Sheffield. I tell you, we controlled the game very well, and everything was really going on our way. The problem was we couldn't obviously kill off the chances and kill off the game in a nick of time. But the chances we have created, everything was going our way, but we couldn't score. And it was just a matter of time for Man United to get that goal. And when the goal started coming in through, they never stopped. Then Bruno Fernandes got himself a penalty after Harry Maguire was really brought down in the 6 yards box area in that corner that was really delivered. But I give Amad Diallo a very huge kudos into that game, because he comes on through and he says, I'm gonna calm this game down. You see the result of that corner. He really wins that ball. He fights back. He runs back. He was really very pivotal into that corner that resulted into a penalty. Bruno takes it in the 61st minute to make it 2-2 for the club of Man United. And then in the 81st minute, he pulled out what we call a scorcher outside the 18 yards box area, as the goalkeeper thought that maybe Bruno was going to obviously maybe pass that ball and release someone. Bruno pulled the trigger and it went to the back of the net, and he celebrated. 4 minutes later, in the 85th minute, Bruno Fernandes finally gets an assist for Rasmus Højlund. In the entire games they've gone ahead to play, this is the first assist Bruno Fernandes has gone ahead to get for Rasmus Højlund, and they went ahead to really celebrate together. And what a way on how Bruno finds out this guy, And I was really excited to see to it that maybe that was what was really letting this this pair not really link up well, that maybe Bruno was like, I cannot really find this guy because every time I find him, I fail. But getting into that is really a very huge positive that the number 10 of Man United has for the very first time created a chance for his number 9. That is a very huge positive, and I know you are also going to agree with me because we've been calling for this throughout the season, that why doesn't Bruno Fernandes look for this guy more often? And today, for Rasmus Højlund, I think he was fed in like 3 times, right? And that's what we always tell you, that for your number 9, 3 times he'll score once. Sometimes he scores 2, but this time around he was fed in and went ahead to score all those goals as a player. So for me, I just like the way he went ahead to control the game, and Scott McTominay came on, Amrabat came on, and Whitley, who went ahead to obviously score a goal that saw us lift the under-18s championship trophy as we beat Man City by 2-1, also came on through and really had minutes into that game of football. You really felt like, yeah, United is United. I mean, it's us having injuries, but you felt like we are playing like Man United because teams have come there and obviously annihilated us. I tell you, this Sheffield side almost killed the side of Liverpool at their stadium, that is Anfield. And if we as Man United have gone ahead to come in through and obviously edge them in this way, we just love it, and I just call in for more and more and more and more stuff to obviously coming through to be unveiled by the club of Man United. These players of Man United, I think, what a way to recover. And the problem we've obviously gone ahead to face with Man United is this team is really unpredictable. The team is unpredictable, and you never know what they're going to come up with next into their next game. And this win has gone ahead to take United places because Newcastle has gone ahead to obviously lose, and now we are 3 points ahead of Newcastle. And I tell you what, magic might happen in a nick of time. And I tell you, we are really doing our best as the side of United Matters channel to see to it that this team really goes up to the standards. But Kobe Mainoo, very, very decent. Missed out on one of the best chances towards the end of half time, but did you see those lightning-breaking passes? Really went ahead to really give Bruno Fernandes twice, I think, and Garnacho, and he really did it in full. But the manager went ahead to really do everything right for me. That is it. He really had to take off Anthony and Eriksen because we also to it that Anthony was not really giving us anything in that game. And this is what you get when you get in Amad Diallo. Amad Diallo is really a purely talented guy, and he has what we call a different composure altogether. And he went ahead to give us lots of things in there for you. But Opta has something to tell us as the side of Man United and you, the fans, that you need to know about this beautiful game of football that we've gone ahead to win today in a very clear and good manner. Today, when that goal went in through for the club, the second one, they said Man United has conceded 50 plus goals in 2 of the last 3 Premier League seasons, having done so in just one of their first 29 games in the competition. So we had to concede very many stupid goals in there for you. When Bruno Fernandes scored, Bruno Fernandes has scored 7 goals in his last 6 Premier League appearances for Man United, as many as he had in his previous 45. With the brace tonight, this is the first time he scored 2 goals plus in back-to-back Premier League games. That is it. Which is the last Premier League game he had to play? It was all against Bournemouth. He scored a brace, and this time round, he has gone ahead to score a penalty again and a shot outside the Tina's box area. That is Bruno Fernandes for you. And went ahead to obviously put in a very beautiful chance in there for you. For Rasmus Højlund, he has gone ahead to score his 8th goal of the Premier League season, and I felt like he's coming, and he's really doing wonders as he's supposed to be. So for me, what a better way to win on Wednesday. Now let's rest and see how the rest of the games are really gonna go, especially against Burnley on Saturday. And we hope that more players keep returning from injury to get us going and give us what we really deserve as a side of Man United. So let's go into the stats and see how things are gonna hit to pan out into this beautiful game of football. But smash the like button, guys, and continue to subscribe to this beautiful channel of ours. And United, 25 shots in total, 10 for Sheffield, 13 on target. I've always gonna hate obviously be so much reiterative about this, that if you really get half of the total shots at goal on target, there is no way you'll fail to get goals. And out of the 13, 4 crossed the line, and the others, it was because of the goodness of the goalkeeper. Then 4 shots on target by Sheffield. Out of those 4 to cross the line. 72% ball possession by Man United, and Sheffield had 28% ball possession. I think now we are really trying to really possess the game. And I told you that this is one of the best games that I've gone here to see Man United play, because you cannot come out and beating in an argument that United was playing a team at the bottom of the table. Do you know how many teams have come in through and obviously shocked Man United? You know, very many teams have come up and shocked us, yet they are really ugly teams. You know that very well. So if United wins like that, you have to come out and really praise us, because on Sunday we are playing against Coventry. Amongst all teams, we are playing against what? Coventry. And Coventry went ahead, obviously came in through and we did the needful. So 3 from behind, and Man United couldn't respond. So if we're gonna hit respond today and play it like that, I tell you, we've gonna hit to put in a very good shift as a side of Man United, and I think the players deserve all the flowers. And I'm not gonna come out here and really blame any player, because I think we've gonna hit to epitomize everything, and all has gonna hit to go our way as a club of Manchester United. So after that, we go to the passes. This is the first game, I think, this season that was gonna hate to see us really get in how many? That's gonna hate to see to it that we've gonna hate to get in how many? We've gonna hate to get in passes at that level. Do you remember any game that Man United has gonna hate to put in 722 passes? I don't remember it this season. If I come out, I'll really be lying. That is it. I'll be really be lying. But all in all, it is really great. And Sheffield had 288 passes. That is it. Then 89% passing accuracy by Man United and 75% passing accuracy by Sheffield United. Then 7 fouls by Man United and 9 fouls by Sheffield. 0 yellow cards issued to Man United, and 1 yellow card issued to Sheffield United. Now, 0 red cards to both sides, 3 offsides to Man United and 2 to Sheffield, 8 corners to Man United and 4 corners to the side of Sheffield. That is how things went ahead to pan out down at the Old Trafford Stadium. Now, let's see how the game of football or the table, Premier League table, is really looking like. But smash the like button, guys. Smash it like never before. Now, Arsenal, top of the table, 77 points. Liverpool, 74. Liverpool was going to lose to Everton by 2-0, meaning that I think they're out of the title race. Man City is playing tomorrow against Brighton. They're having 73 points. Aston Villa is having 34 games played with 66 points. Tottenham Hotspur, 32 games played. They're having 60 points. And Man United, 33 games played. We're having 53 points. Newcastle, 33 games played. They're having 50 points. And I tell you what, we have to play Newcastle at Old Trafford in the nick of time. Now, coming to discuss this race. Now, when you look at Aston Villa, they're left with 4 games and they can gather 12 points out of those games. You get? Man United is left with 5 games and we can gather 15 points out of those games. So, what does that mean? It means that we are really chasing Spurs, for me, not Villa. If Villa gets 1 win, I think they'll go into that ilk of hitting 70 points. But for Spurs, they are playing on Sunday, right, against Arsenal, and Man United would have gone ahead to play against Burnley over the weekend. I tell you what, we go ahead to beat Burnley. Hear me out. We go ahead to beat Burnley. We are at a level of really putting in the required shift. And that shift will be all about one thing. You get? That shift will be all about one thing of having how many points? Those will be 66 points. So we'll be having what? 56 points in there. So that means Man United will be really having a better purpose to serve into that beautiful game of football, and the season will be really redeemed, because for me, I'm 100% sure that Spurs is really going to be losing to Arsenal. And guess what? Spurs is having Liverpool, right? And is it Chelsea? They're having 3 games playing those big teams, and that puts us at a level of knowing that we are going to really put in a shift. Today, Crystal Palace is going to head to beat Newcastle. If we can really put in a run in of 3 wins in a row, I tell you what, Spurs will be put onto a pressure that everyone never saw it come. I tell you. If you want to see Spurs making mistakes, let them come in through, lose to Arsenal, and we win against Burnley. We'll be 4 points behind Tottenham Hotspur. You get? Then Spurs will have to play Chelsea, I think, mid next week. And then they have to play Liverpool. Okay, let's say they get 1 out of those and they really go to 61 and Man United is 69. You get? The more we continue winning, the more pressure would have gone ahead to pile onto this team of Tottenham Hotspur. There is no way they'll see themselves really getting to the level of really getting to the Champions League. Remember, 5 teams will go to the Champions League from the Premier League. And I tell you what, with this form that we're going to have to put in through, all we need is to win our games. If Spurs drop 10 points or 9, you get, and we win our next 3 games, I tell you, we are going to be at level terms with them. And their fixtures are really huge. So, for me, I think all we have to do is simple. Go all out, beat Burnley, beat Crystal Palace away from home, something that we don't really do happen, or something that don't really happen at the club of Man United, and it's really very giving. So I think there is a chance, if at all these players go ahead and win these games. But the problem has always been, one, you cannot come out and really trust the side of Man United. Can you trust the players of Man United? You will never trust these players, because you never know what they are going to really give you. That is it. You'll never know what these players of Man United will always really give you. Against Coventry, a team leads by 3 goals, and Coventry, a team placed 8th in the championship, comes back and really pulls 3 back. You get? So that is the weirdest thing about Man United. But I tell you what, Manchester United has gone ahead to really perform very well today. I think if we come in through with that performance on Saturday, I tell you, we will annihilate the side of Burnley by more good goals. That is it. So, I'm just excited, and I think this team is really very giving, and the energy has been really great. But let's talk about the test of mentality. The mentality has been tested, guys. The mentality has been tested to the fullest. You get? Because twice we've been down, twice we've leveled, and later killed off the game. Games have come in through at Old Trafford, and we're going to hate to really go goals down, and we've going to hate to obviously see ourselves really losing out onto what we call onto what we call mentality, and the fighting back mentality. But today, you saw to it that it went ahead to happen. I can give you games at Old Trafford that we've gone ahead to fail to come back. Brighton 3-1, Bournemouth 3-0, Fulham 2-1. All those were losses at Old Trafford. You get? Playing against teams that are not that huge, but are teams that have gone ahead obviously put in a shift everywhere, and United imploded and recapitulated in that manner. So this is why I'm talking about the mentality, that turning back from what we did at the Wembley Stadium and what has been happening to us in the recent games. Even the recent games we're going to hate to be playing. At Chelsea, you know what happened. Stamford Bridge, Man United 3-2 with just 80 seconds to go. We consider an equalizer, and we went ahead to get into a moment of really losing out. You understand? Then Bournemouth 2-2. We couldn't win that game of football, yet the chance was there. You go to Brentford, there was a chance for us to obviously win that game of football. Winning, also Mason Mount scoring late. Guess what happens? We concede in the dying minutes against Liverpool 2-1, 84th minute. We lose out. A penalty given out by Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So I think today, these players have gone ahead to tick all the boxes. I've seen these players run. Guys, I've seen them run. And I was like happy, and I said, all right, the players are really putting in a shift to see to it that a lot really comes their way. And I just got excited on how these players of Man United went ahead to react today. I think you guys are really excited because everything was on point. In the starting 11, there is a player I never wanted to say. I never wanted to say Eriksson. I wanted to say Amrabat. But later the manager went ahead to take off Eriksson and brought on Amrabat, brought on Ahmad Diallo. The other player that you need to talk about is Whitley. Whitley came in through and really made his first debut for the club of Man United. And I've gone ahead to really hear people say, I've gone ahead to hear people say a lot about this young lad. He's really very exciting and he has the physique that can come in through and obviously give United the best that we deserve as we go into this game of football. And he put in a shift, guys. I tell you what, he put in a shift, and when he came on through, I saw him running, I saw him doing everything right. And he goes by the names of, what is his name? Ethan Joseph Whitley, right? He's 18 years of age, and his stats are as follows this season. He has gone ahead to play one game for the club of Man United, senior team, 0 goals. But for the under-18s, he has gone ahead to really play 2 games this season. And guess what has gone ahead to happen? He has gone ahead to score 2 goals. But everyone is talking huge things about this lad. So he plays for the under-18s, under-19 and the under-21s. And he's really putting in a lot of shifts. And yesterday night, I tell you, as we beat Man City, he went ahead obviously coming through and raised up the occasion and put in a very huge gift. So that is what I really wanted. And I was expecting Amaz to really get a play in. But I think the manager was like, I'm not going to risk this young lad to come in through. Let Dallo play the entire minutes of the game. Now, I go to your comments right now in the live chat. Erina Ochan, we are still very far for any title competition. Let me tell you, the only time I'm going to talk about a title competition is when that entire hierarchy of the board of Man United is done and dusted. The moment it's done and dusted and put in the perfect order, I'll come here and talk about that. But I tell you, we look far off. That is it. But I think these players should just put in the fight, win our games, and see to it that if Spurs drop some huge points, we are in their vicinity and we are knocking on the door to finish 5th. Idris Kamara, I'm with you, but I did not have the voice, all right. Akugiziwe Sebastian, hey Aradi, Ahmad is so amazing. Very, very talented player. I went ahead to do a video in the morning when Ten Hag said that he's going to get his time. And for me, I know Olise is good, but they should give Ahmad a chance. They should give Ahmad a chance to stay at Man United and really play that ball. Because if he gets into a full pelt, he's going to be unstoppable. That is it. He's going to be unstoppable. Injuries, the injury affected him a lot because he got an ankle injury that kept him out for very many months. But he's back. He's back, and I know how good it is. Yasmin Jobvu, it's United. Let's support our team and coach. Again, let's know what is wrong with our team. It's not a coach board is the problem. And some players, let's give Ten Hag time. He'll fix it. That is it. Sometimes people are really reactionary on the games that we lose. But ask yourself, if we lost the game of football today, the big question would have been, do you blame the manager? Players created, all had 7 shots on target in the first half, and they couldn't bury those balls at the back of the net. Now, where does that come out to blame the manager? Because the same thing is going to be happening in very many games. Players create chances, they don't score. Others are selfish, and they don't really create for their number 9, Rasmus Højlund. A person comes out and says, Ten Hag is the problem. I've gone ahead to fault Eric Ten Hag every time I was going to make a mistake. But the hugest problem at Man United are these players. That's why I told you, have you seen how good Manchester United is going to play without Marcus Rashford? Marcus Rashford is one of that weakest links that we need to eradicate from this team. He shouldn't be in our team. And if at all that board of Man United is seated up there, because I saw Jason Willox, I saw Dave Bresford, Joan Cloud, and David Gill, they were seated up there, and they're really watching the game of football. You saw how good we played without Marcus Rashford. He's not the missing piece in the jigsaw. He's the piece in our jigsaw that always fails the puzzle to obviously move as it's supposed to be. He should be shown the exit door. All else, he should be played off the bench because he's not good enough. A Mike from Kampala today, they tried to show that fighting spirit. Yeah, they really fought. I saw them. To him, Bise Titus, Ahmad is awesome. Awesome player. I love the player. You know, for me, if at all you want me to love you, just have that composure. Like, you don't feel the pressure when you're having the ball. And you saw his fighting spirit, and you see his physique, you know. He can go shoulder to shoulder, you know. Shoulder to shoulder battles, he wins them, you know. And he doesn't really allow to be really bulled, you know, by these other bullies in the game of football. However low his center of gravity is, he's really a fighting monster into that team. Alfred Ken Nyebingira, Onana, mistake again. They tried, but still have a long journey to go for these players. But I think Onana, apart from that, he didn't have a very good game. And when did Onana last cost us a goal? You know, just ask yourself. And those mistakes will always come in through. They'll always come in through. But trust me, he had a very good game. He had a very good game. Oika, Moses, but Onana is still doing his mistakes. Every goalkeeper will do that mistake. Raya has gone ahead to do that mistake this season. Raya has done like 10, though they haven't gone ahead to cost Arsenal into goals. That's why they're not very sounding. Ederson has, Alisson has. So those goalkeepers who are really ball playing, at a certain point X, they'll do such mistakes. You know, like because the goalkeeper is like any other player. You know, like you see to it that players come out and really do the mistakes, like how Garnacho did in the game of Bournemouth. How Anthony let us down and Rashford in the game of Coventry. Even a goalkeeper is human. But just look at how he has been playing for the club of Man United in the past games. He has been really good. And this time around, you saw that his ball distribution was really on point. He distributed the ball to the players very well, and I never saw him put a foot wrong. Then Joseph Sesai, glory Man United. I'm very happy because the players put their bodies on the line. Yeah. They put their bodies on the line. They really fought hard for the badge, and I was like, all right, this is Man United, and let's see what the results are really gonna be. Kakuruvian, I'm happy for Højlund scoring nothing else. Yeah, for Rasmus Højlund, he last scored when you're playing against Luton Town. You know, that was in Feb, but a lot has gone ahead to not go his way, especially players creating for him chances. But I'm really excited for him linking up with Bruno, and that's what I want to see Bruno. Have you gone ahead to see how Bruno's going to play today? That's what I talk about. If Bruno gives me such a performance every day, I'll come out and say he is one of the best number 10s in the world. But he has always not gone ahead to really give us control. But it's already today that he never really did very many blind passes. He was the Bruno that we've always gone ahead to know, and I really loved every bit of Bruno Fernandes today. Hope you really did too. Aradi, why the manager don't start Amad Diallo? That boy is good. For me, all I know about Eric Ten Hag, it's all about time. I tell you, Amad Diallo is going to be the first choice right attacking midfielder for the club of Man United. That is it. Just be happy that he's now getting to the starting level of Man United. That is good. Now, so it's just getting in minutes from the bench. Now all what we want is simple. Can the manager start him in the game of Burnley? That is the huge question. Can the manager start in the game? Because I need to see Amad Diallo get in minutes. Like Anthony starting in the game of Man United, putting in like 60 minutes in the bag, and he gets substituted off. I need to see that Hamad. CK Entertainment, for me, I think it's time for Bissaka to go. Bissaka is going to be sold because there are not even any new contract discussions with him. I tell you, he's going to be sold, and that's why United is looking in for players like Frimpong and very many others. I think he's playing his last season for the club of Man United. Kasaja David today, they tried to put the fighting spirit. Yeah, they fought. You saw to it that they could go for those second balls. They could fight. And trust me, their spirits were really high. And I think the coming in of Jason Willox, I think we're ahead obviously have a meeting with these players. And I think very soon we're going to get to know what went right for those players to act like that. Because if he was called who? Avram Glazer went ahead to really go into that dressing room after the full time when you're playing that side of Coventry City after winning. He went there. Trust me, the message he took there was nothing else apart from telling these players that no player is immune to being thrown out of this club. No player is immune to start Man United. We can really sell anyone. That's why their reaction today has been totally different. A high press was played. Every player was pressing, And that's why I've told you, Rashford is the problem. Because if in the team you had Rashford, he would have gone ahead to be the weakest link. He doesn't press like other players. But today Garnacho was pressing, Anthony was pressing, Rasmus Hojlund was pressing, Bruno was pressing, Eriksson with his limited energy was pressing, Kobe Mainoo too. Every player was really a live wire. And I went ahead to love that. Oyika Moses, Bro Manager will get my rating of 10 out of 10 calls of the substitutes, removing Anthony and Eriksson. All right. Yeah, he did it that right. I think it was really called for to get off those players because they are not giving anything great. Then Oyika Moses, bro, today I have seen the Bruno we bought in. Very good. Thank you. When I come here and talk about things, people say, Rokani has a personal vendetta onto Bruno Fernandes. No. I love all the United players, but every player is as good as his previous 90 minutes. For Bruno Fernandes, if you look at how he played when you're playing against Coventry and how he played when you're playing against Sheffield today, that's the Bruno I want. That's the number 10 I want. I don't want a number 10 who goes in for Hollywood passes and really passing anyhowly. I want a number 10 that will obviously go in for the right decision, because a number 10 is the driver of the team going forward. So if Kobe Mainoo has gone ahead to pass you the ball, do the needful and really get us going where we deserve to be. You get? Kasaja David, no, we are with Ibrahim Ahmud Sila. This is not a compromise at all. The manager should leave the club. I know we cannot all have the same thoughts, but I tell you, one thing you'll obviously get to know that Ten Hag is not the problem. And very many people have their views. I respect your views, Ibrahim, but I know you are people who really think he should leave. But ask yourself, is Ten Hag leaving the solution to Man United? The answer is no. Joseph Sesai, today the manager, did excellent work. The substitutions were right. Yeah. Jason Folner, do not substitute Garnacho. I know, because in the previous games, every time Garnacho was substituted, United went ahead to lose their lead. Kamiri Williams, Idris Kamara. The problem of Man United is Rashford. When United play without Rashford, we look a better team. And you now get to know that Marcus Rashford is a player that costs us. He costs us. That's why I don't want to see him here anywhere near the club of Man United. The problem is Marcus Rashford. He doesn't press. He doesn't run. When he gets the ball, he's selfish. And he's not this kind of player that you're having a Mohamed Salah who's going to pull out a moment of magic. He's a spoiler. You get? So, you are right, Idris Kamara. Then Joseph Sesai, the problem is Rashford. He is very selfish. Yeah, and he doesn't put in the energy. Doesn't fight for the club. Doesn't fight for the shirt. Silva Onyait, Bruno has showed me today what he's supposed to do exactly. That's what I've always gone ahead to call in for here. That's the Bruno we should be having. If Bruno plays like that, I'll tell you, he is the guy. You get? But the other Bruno, I hate him. I want this Bruno I've gone here to see the previous 2-3 games with the club of Man United. The other Bruno that played against Liverpool, I hate him because he's very selfish and he's just goal-minded. But he has shown us today that he can really lift up and raise up to the occasion every time the club needs him. Shooting 1 or 2 at goal, not bad, provided you really put in those passes towards your number 9 and the wide forwards in there. Happy Chris, it's a matter of time, guys. Yeah, especially with the board. For me, by the way, my strongest hinge of strength is the board. How we are getting in quality people to obviously rebuild that board of Man United that is going to hate to cost us for a very long period of time possible. Irina Ochan, these players are known for United. They are for a different team like Cardiff. Yeah, I know. Very many players are going to leave the club of Man United. You might see 11 players sold by Man United. Sylvia Onyech already my man of the match is Bruno Fernandes. Whether you like it or not, he's mine. Alright, we are going to see. I'm going to record the video of the player ratings and see who is going to really do the needful today. Anthony tried. How do you see, bro? He tried, but my problem with him is he tries to do hard things. That's my problem with him. Why don't you do the easy things like Kobe Mainoo? Because what makes Kobe Mainoo a special player, he's talented, but he does the simple things. Look at Amad Diallo. He cannot commit himself. He doesn't want to run all the time. He only runs when the time is right. But Anthony feels like every time he gets the ball, he should be taking on a flare. Yet, it's better, do a pass, and try to create a rendo into that game. And then those players will come to press you. Then you make a run and do the needful. I've got to hate to say Amad Diallo today. His runs off the ball have been really exquisite. They've been exquisite because most of the times, every time Bissaka was like going to the byline, I saw Amad Diallo inverting in the midfield, in the right half spaces. That was really great of him. But if you are really playing not well, a lot won't go on right in there for you. Then Erin Ochan, Onana has no problem, but our players, I don't know why they don't defend like other teams. The problem is we have good defenders, but there is no way your defenders will really play well when they don't have what we call a permanent partnership. In the morning, I told you about Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. They've gone ahead to play close to 30 plus games together. That's why they cannot really concede goals as Man United does concede, because they complement each other and they read each other like a book. They know the strengths and weaknesses of the other. That's why David Raya, when he came in through at Arsenal, he was making very many mistakes because he never knew how to play with his players. But the moment he got in sync with them, you see how they've gone ahead to obviously play. And David Raya has gone ahead to keep 14 clean sheets in 28 games. So that is what United would have gone ahead to. That's why last season, David De Gea could keep all those clean sheets because he knew to eat that. I'm playing with Lisandro Martinez and Varane in the central defense. All else, Luke Shaw and Harry Maguire. And all those defenders, he had gone ahead to obviously play with them. He knew their weaknesses and could command them very well. But Onana has gone ahead to come in through and really fell into what we call a turmoil of an injury crisis at Man United. I tell you, if we played close to 30 games in the Premier League with Lisandro Martinez and Varane playing as the central defenders, Onana would have gone ahead to be the most clean-sheeted goalkeeper because he has 8 clean sheets, yet he has been experiencing the most number of shots exposed to him in the league. Silva Onyait, already, can you please tell me the players who are the contenders of the Man United Player of the Season? I think those players include Garnacho, Bruno Fernandes will be part, Dalot will be part, Kobe Mainoo will come in through. I think those are the players that I think are gonna compete for the United Player of the Month. Of the season. Bruno Fernandes, Diego Dalot, Rasmus Højlund will be in, I think. Garnacho will be in, and Kobe Mainoo. Those 5, I think one of those will be named the Player of the Season for the club of Man United. Ronald, to see me, Anthony needs to add on his game. Then Bissaka should leave our club. Alright, Bissaka is going to leave. You shouldn't even stress yourself with Bissaka. Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to leave the club of Man United. Next season, he's not going to be here because United are willing to recruit very many players. And for Anthony, he needs to obviously make better decisions with the ball. His end product is really lacking and he tries to run into a forest of legs. This is the Premier League. Teams won't give you space. That is it. Teams won't give you space. So all what you have to do is get that ball, pass it around, and then your time will come. Look at how Amad plays. For me, I like Amad Diallo because of that. He doesn't really rush into action. All what he does, gets that ball, composes, because he knows to eat that. The more he gains that ball with him and doesn't lose it, the more chances of a team will find out a line-breaking pass, because you have players that can do that. Casemiro can, Kobe Mainoo can do that. You're going to hate to see it. They're going to do it on like 2 to 3 occasions today. You're going to hate to see it that Bruno can. We have players that can really get you those passes. So all you have to do is the ball retention should be high. Don't lose the ball. Knock it around and move around. You get? But that urge to run headlessly with the ball, sorry, to run aimless with the ball, I hate it. I hate it. And Anthony should really improve onto that. Joseph Sesai, that is the Bruno we want. That's the bit we want to see. And I'm very happy for Højlund goal. Very happy. Very happy. You know, he made a typical number 9 run. Bruno Fernandes read him like a book. And he went ahead to tap it into the back of the net. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. And all we need to see is United getting back to this. Doing the same thing against Burnley. Taking the fight to Crystal Palace, because when you're playing against Crystal Palace, I think some other players will return, and maybe Casemiro won't be into the central defense, because Crystal Palace has the likes of Mateta, very physical players, and they run a lot. So we'll need a more physical defender and fast defender in that central defense. Then Ronald to Sime. So we need a minimum of 3 defenders: right back, left back, and center. We don't need a left back. All what we have to do is simple. Shaw and Malacia, I know they are going to be fit. And there is a youngster known as Amaz. I think in the preseason, you're going to see him being played a lot by Erik ten Hag as the left back for the Man United, because he's going to really test him a lot. He's going to really test him a lot, as he has been on the bench on like 3-4 occasions, but he's just 17 years of age, but he's really an exciting left back. So I don't think that we should go in and sign a left back. All we have to sign are 2 central defenders. That we need a CDM. Right, we need a support striker. You never know what Whitley is going to become, because if Whitley is coming on, you never know what he's going to become. I've gone to see it that he has the urge to do the needful. If at all he can get into more game time and hits at the back of the net and scores goals, I see no reason as to why we should really go in for a striker. I tell you this: if Whitley can really show up his intent in the remaining games and in the preseason, I think Ten Hag will be like, can we not get in a striker? And let's obviously reinforce other departments, because even if you're having Whitley as your center forward leading the line, and you not it that you're really having a very good team that can create chances, Whitley can really score you those goals. Ethan Joseph Whitley is a very good striker, very clinical. Endeavor to watch those games of United that they do play into the preseason, into the under 20, under 18s, those under games. You'll see how good this player will be. He's really very, very, very good at what he does, and I tell you, nothing is really going to stop him from really achieving what he deserves to achieve as a player. So right now, it's been one of those hugest moments of us winning. I know the sadness that you have been carrying in your hearts on this channel. I know it very well. But all in all, we are there, and I think nothing is going to stop us from really clinching the levels as Man United really deserves. So thank you guys for watching in through. We are really doing the best as a club of Man United, and I tell you what, nothing is really going to really let us down as a side of Man United. So guys, thank you very much. This is Man United Matches channel. Continue to subscribe. After subscribing, then you'll get the best that he really deserves. We want to hit, remember, 18,000 subscribers. Right now, we are at 17,000 subscribers, and we need to see that we get in more, and you're the people that are responsible for really getting us to those levels that we are calling in for here onto this beautiful channel. We are having 17,100 subscribers. Can really get more and more and more onto this. So Bruno Fernandes on fire, Rasmus Højlund getting in another one, and Harry Maguire. Hey guys, I'm sorry, I had forgotten to talk about Harry Maguire. Yet Harry Maguire has gone ahead to score a very beautiful header. That goal was important, because if he doesn't score that goal, we go to half time. We go to half time when you're really in the losing position. Very beautiful header, buries it, and he has gone ahead to score 2 goals in 2 consecutive games. You remember, he scored the second goal playing against Coventry from a set piece. Garnacho goes ahead to really identify him, and he went ahead to bury that ball into the back of the net. That was really beautiful of Harry Maguire. And I think I'm just excited about that. Do you know why? United is willing to sell Harry Maguire, and that means if any team is going to come in for him, according to how he's performing this season, teams are going to come to pay in heavily. 30-40 million pounds will land into the pockets of Man United, and that's the most exciting bit of Harry Maguire putting in a shift like that, because you really understand that he's going to come in through and really leave, but as he's leaving, a lot will happen. And I think it's really going to be a very heated decision to make on which defenders are leaving. Are you going, because the constants I know that are going to stay, I know Martinez Lisandro is going nowhere. Let's all admit, Lisandro Martinez is going nowhere. Now, Kambuala has claimed his spot in the team of Man United because we're going to show how good he is. Now, the question marks are on Maguire, right? On Varane, Lindelof, John Evans, right? So, out of these 4 defenders, Harry Maguire, Varane, Lindelof, and John Evans, 2 defenders will have to leave. And I think, according to my consciousness, it tells me John Evans will stay, but Varane will leave on a free because he earned a lot of money. The only reason he'll stay is if at all Man United have decided to really come in a common ground with him to really take in the amount of money they want. But for Lindelof and Maguire, I think Harry Maguire has now gone ahead to put in a shift that the manager and the team will say, let's keep Harry Maguire because he's an English player, and let's obviously sell Victor Lindelof. So, for me, I believe the most 2 defenders that are most likely to leave are Lindelof and Rafael Varane. Those 2 are most likely to leave the club of Man United. So, guys, thank you very much for watching through. I sign out for now. That has been the match reaction. Man United 4, Sheffield United 0. Rokan David remains my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Bye-bye. May the living to God bless you abundantly. And for the Muslims, Barakallahu Fikum. It's a 5-finger salute. Everyone has been part of this channel. I cannot mention all your names. You've been very many. But continue to subscribe to this channel because we want to hit 17,200 subscribers.